Hey, what's up everyone? I hope you guys are having a beautiful day. And today I wanted to share a story with you guys about how I made a 10-year-old cry. I believe he was 10 years old, but I know sounds terrible, but let me explain. So what happens is I was teaching a class, right? And the class, they liked me, they wanted to play with me afterwards. And so what happens is this group of fifth graders, right? These group of fifth graders, they're asking me to play a game. So we start playing Duck Duck Goose, right? I'm pretty sure you guys are familiar with Duck Duck Goose. You choose a person, or one person goes around in a circle and says duck, 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 and the person you want them to chase you, or the person you want to chase you, you say goose. So I would say goose, and then I'd run around, and then get to the circle or get fill in the spot before they would touch me, right? And me being a 20-year-old in my prime, I you know needless to say, almost always outran them unless I let them. But besides my physical advantage, what really sucked was it was mainly a group. So in this classroom, there was only like two boys that was playing with us, right? So and the rest of the classroom, or the rest of the fifth grade class that was playing with us were all girls, right? So, you know, I, I was assuming they're all friends, they're all playing together. So I was like, okay, this is fine, this is perfect, right? So I'm like duck, 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 goose, right? And it's fun. But me being the teacher, they obviously like to choose a teacher to have the teacher chase them around and stuff. So that's understandable. But so as I'm going duck, 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 goose, right? As I'm choosing my person, on the one boy that was there, everyone else was telling me to call him Buffalo. So they were like, call him Buffalo, call him Buffalo. And instead of goose. So I was like, I didn't really understand. But I was like, yeah, sure. So I was like, duck, 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 buffalo. And then the entire class like starts cracking up. So I'm over here like, okay, cool. It's probably pretty funny. So all right, and he seemed fine. So I was like, all right, whatever. So you know, do a couple more rounds of that, and then me and this one boy, we're having a good connection, right? We're kind of being playful with each other. So the next time I go around, when I get to him, I'm like duck, 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 buffalo, and then I give him a little tiny tap in the back of the head, like you know, probably done that with your friends or something before, and that was fine. He was like, man, what the heck? It was like a little funny. He was fine, but whatever. But what was really terrible was that after I did that, all the other kids started to call him Buffalo and smack him in the back of the head, and not like a tap. They were like straight up like, and I was like, okay, he's tough. He can handle it, right? They're all being playful, but no, that is not what happened. So he ends up crying, and I'm like, oh my god, what's wrong? Like because I guess I didn't I found out about the other people smacking him harder like later, but I don't think that was what actually caused him to cry. So I think what caused him to cry was you know us calling him Buffalo, right? So can you just imagine, right? I'm in a classroom, and I guess a really important piece of information is that this is a Thai classroom, so I'm in Thailand teaching English, and none of these kids really know fluent English to translate what's going on. So as I'm playing this game, this one Thai boy, he starts crying, and it would be like if it was subtitled, it'd be like crying in Thai, and I'm like, oh my god, what do I do? It's like my first week here, first 2 weeks here, and I already made a boy cry, and I'm over here like, what can I do for you? I'm like trying to you know, tell him to come so that, like the other friends don't see him. I was trying to tell him to like, maybe go outside. So, like the same reason. But the kids are actually really cute. They're like, oh no, no, no. Because they didn't want him to, like the other like kid just to see him crying. So, I got him some toilet paper, or I guess as they call it, tissue paper in Thailand. And there's a whole another story that you know, with that. But so I give him some tissue paper, and he starts, um, wiping his eyes and stuff. So I tell him, I say sorry, I apologize and stuff, and then me and him were cool, right? So we fist bump each other, we high five, and then we start playing another game, and everything's all good and fine, right? So I'm over here thinking that it was because of the smacking in the back of the head that you know hurt him, made him want to cry, and like all his classmates and stuff doing that same thing too, right? So as I'm telling this story to my host mom, who is also a teacher at that school, as I'm telling her the story, while we're walking at the park, maybe like a couple of days later, she starts laughing, and she starts laughing because she tells me that buffalo in Thai translate to something like idiot or foolish, right? So I was just like, I was like, oh. So I felt terrible because I'm over here smacking, this one boy, smacking him in the back of the head and calling him foolish. And, I'm just tripping out. I was like, oh man, I really have to apologize to this kid. And then not only that, but I kind of like gave permission almost for all the other kids to like, do that same thing. So, learned my lesson. I remember that word now. But yeah, that was, one of the first times I made a little kid cry, and like honestly, I had like very little idea of like how to fix it. I was like tripping out for a sec. I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna get in trouble. I'm gonna like all the other kids are gonna start crying, and I was like, oh no, please don't. And then but he actually turned out to be one of my favorite students. But yeah, don't be calling Thai kids buffalo and smack them in the back of the head. But or I guess next time you guys play a game of duck duck goose, just stick to duck and stick to goose, and things should be good. But yeah, so that's basically the story of how I made a fifth grader, a 12-year-old, 10-year-old, start crying in a foreign language in a different country. And if you guys like that video, make sure to press the button to subscribe, and share this with a friend who might seem like the type of person to make a kid cry. Yeah, do that, and expect some cool content coming up soon.